feels right then, open up and swallow it. Side effects just can't protect you now. All games and sleight of hand card tricks. All my friends are skeletons and the bomb in all my smokes. Got a glass that sees right through you. Got no skin 'cause you're a skeleton. Rattle the bones and eyes with that bracelet. Wanna open me up.
John and John from Bionic.
We're on Signed by Force.
When bands like, you know, you guys are as defiant of the mainstream and trends as you are, I mean, how difficult is it to survive as a band?
Well, you have to figure out like what you're going to be as a band. Like, do you want to be? I mean, I can. You know, a lot of the bands that appear on the cover of the weeklies in Montreal that you know they are trying to make it. You know, we've been around, and John's been in bands like his whole life. You know, and even before Bionic, we've all been in bands. I mean, if we were doing this to like pay the rent and to make a career out of it, we would have broken up a long time ago. You know, we're playing in a genre that is like supported by people that are passionate about music, and it's a small pocket of people. And you know, and the one thing Bionic has gotten is respect from other bands and from people that buy records. You know, that are music fans, and that means way more to us than being a flavor of the month. Like, you know, what are we gonna do? Like, play you know, disco dance punk or disco synth pop probably. See what happens in Canada. We're just like sick of playing Canada. I mean, it's just it's just kind of lame. Canada's like this place that always like looks to like the U.S. like, is this cool? I don't know. Is this cool? Like no one's willing to take any chances, and the industry here won't take any chances on like a heavy band. How many like what are the biggest rock bands in Canada? Like Danko Jones, Priestess, and then there's this giant drop off. Come on. And you know, I mean, Priestess are really good friends of ours. Like, you know, they were like struggling with, you know, they're doing great, and they're an awesome band, but they're hardly like
Living off that.
I mean, they, you know, they're struggling. And you know, in Europe, it's just like we toured Europe twice, and it was like people were like, whoa, you know, freaked out, and then we play like, you know, wherever, like Saskatoon, and it's like people seeing us for the 8th time, like, oh yeah, Bionic's coming back. And you know, we have like great fans in Canada for sure, but it's like we've realized like, you know, it's time to like, you know, play with the big boys a bit more.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind, about the Mirror magazine. They have cigarette ads in that magazine.
Hey, it's Quebecor. It's owned by Quebecor. I mean, we were just talking about this before the camera. It's like, yeah, you know, it sucks. What am I going to do? It's either that or deliver Pula sacks. I'm working for other magazines, but, you know, I'm scraping by. You know? I mean, when Quebecor took over, we thought, like, oh, this is going to be, you know, at least we'll get some cash. Nothing. Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, I work for them. I'm a freelance journalist. I don't, you know, I'm not getting like dental plan or anything. Look at my teeth.
That's your fault.
That's my fault. Yeah, I mean, Bionic would never consider, you know, I smoke, but you know, I wish I didn't. I mean, I would never do ads, you know, or have Bionic sponsored by a cigarette company or anything like that. We were approached by Jägermeister, and I was like, yeah, alcoholism, like, yeah, fuck that, you know, like, why? And they're like, we'll give you all this booze, and we're like, fuck you. Like, we're not gonna. They wanted us to put up like things that are merch table and stuff, and we were like, no.
Big banners behind the stage.
Yeah, it's just lame.
I mean, it takes.
I mean, we're not Ian MacKaye or anything, but I mean, like, you know, I mean, I think it's pretty sad if a band, an artist were to do that, you know? I mean, Montreal Mirror exists to make money. I mean, it's not supposed to be, I mean, hopefully my input into it is adding some culture. I hope that's what I try to do. But I don't think that Quebecor's end goal is to add culture. But there are people at that paper, though, that are really talented people and do steer it that way, so that's kind of cool. I mean, the editor at the Mirror is one of the smartest people I've ever met, and he's a motherfucker. He's a real cool dude.
How long have you been doing that gig now?
It's a little over 2 years, and it was supposed to be Well, one guy was on vacation for 2 weeks, and then it was supposed to stop. And it got such a good response. I mean, because there's like stuff in Montreal, like Still Post, where people can find out about stuff, but even that's a little slanted towards like, you know, it's a little bit more indie rock. And I think it's providing an alternative. And a lot of people criticize it and they don't like it, and that's fine. I mean, Wolf Eyes isn't something for everybody, you know, but it's like something I really dig. Me and John went to the show, you know, it's cool.
Actually, I think it was Still Post that we were kicked off of, or was it MontrealShows.com?
Oh yeah.
Still Post. Yeah, Still Post.
Oh, they kicked you guys off?
Off the board, yeah, because we were...
What name were you guys?
HARDTIMES.CA.
What was it?
HARDTIMES.CA.
Our site, you know, HARDTIMES.CA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because we posted a hero link.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they said it wasn't good music, so I said, tell me what good music is. And then they wouldn't answer me, so I said, I want to be just like smart like you guys. And then next thing you know, there's a...
Yeah, well, that's why I have my column right there in a nutshell. I don't really dig Protest the Hero. I don't like most modern.
No, I just posted a link. I post any other link.
Yeah, you should be able to, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
But they're little, you know, elitist indie people, and so they have no problem just fucking banning this and this. It was a
QC.com.
Exactly, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Actually, that's this question I want to ask you was, what are your...
Oh, you guys hate, well, a bunch of people on your forum hated us. Because I wrote about how funny hardcore dancing is, how homoerotic it is. And because it is, totally, it's like gayer than a leather picnic basket. And all these hardcore dudes, like straight edge X wrote in or whatever, and I was comparing it to like a ballet or something, and those guys were like, "Fuck you, dude! When I see you, you're gonna be fucking. Our crew is gonna." And it was just like, "What are you, a cartoon?"
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, it was like, how hardcore can you be? It was just, and it's all those kids too. Like they get out of that shit, and then they're like lining up at the dance bar over there, like waiting in line for the rope thing. Hardcore to me is like, especially that. Like when it, because I'm old, but when that whole Cro-Mags thing happened, I just thought that was like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, and I love like Negative Approach. Like I have a religious moment listening to Negative Approach or Black Flag, but like all that shit, all that He-Man fucking, we must unite, chains of unity, and all that shit. Like fuck you. It's like sheep. They're like sheep. Like join the Marines. You know, I mean they're just losers. That shit is fucking lame. It's, you know what it is? It's just like when I was a kid and there were like heavy metal guys. It's in my high school and they were like douchebags. And it's the exact same thing. Most of those, and then they go into hardcore. All those guys are like fucking douchebags, like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
They're like musclehead douchebags. They're like jocks. It's jock rock.
That's exactly what it is.
And they're really into like sports and shit. I'm not down, man.
Actually, I think for me,
I'm into like freak out shit. You know, like I'm a freak, and that's what I like. The Swans. I like Black Flag. I like freak out shit that's fucked up.
Hydra Head shit.
I love that shit. Yeah. And you know, I'm not into like fucking every band sounding the same, and they all look the same, and they play the same guitars, they play the same amps. It's like you go to those like 5-band bills, and it's like
crank.
It's like crank and dual rectifiers all lined up against the wall, and it's just like, yeah, they're not saying anything for most of it.
No,
but hey, I'm a giant music fan who buys records. Like that's why I'm offended by these bands.
Yeah.
And these people who are sheep. And that's like, punk rock is about the germs, and it's about being an individual as being completely different. And that's not punk rock to me. That belongs on the Warped Tour stage or something. It's just like, where are the chicks? You know,
it's just
like
a bunch of shirtless dudes. Like,
yeah, it's like, fuck, man.
Rubbing
Like,
up against each other. I don't know.
yeah. It's just like, I don't even, like, what do you do? Do they all get together at their house and listen to that shit and punch the floor? You guys have tons of this shit on your website. Like, we're dead. People are going to watch this going, fuck that old hippie.
After the Aaron Jan interview, we're wide open.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I saw that go down.
Yeah.
The button on a fur coat.